Hey guys, I'm HOJ, and in today's video, we're going to be doing another Best of One standard event. Today with an Azorius Airbend deck that I modified from the last Mono White Airbend deck. So excited to jump in. All the links are going to be in the description. The top pinned comment on this video is going to have a link if you'd like to subscribe, or if you'd like to become a member for 99 cents a month to get early access to all my new videos and have also help support the channel. So let's get into the deck. All right. Basically, I ended up having so much fun with the Mono White Airbend deck that I threw together that I wanted to explore some other possibilities, branching into different colors. And my first stop here was Azorius. So if you want to see that other video, it was a blast to play. I'll have a link at the end of this video for it as well if you want to check that one out. All right, so the plan is to kind of build around Airbender Ascension, which is an enchantment for 2 mana. When it enters, you airbend up to 1 target creature, and then whenever a creature you control enters, put a quest counter on the enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if you have 4 or more quest counters, you can exile 1 target creature you control and then return it to the battlefield under your control. So it's a nice way to kind of get extra value out of creatures that have enter the battlefield effects. For the 1-drops, we've got a full play set of Lightstall Inquisitor, which is a 2/1 Vigilance Angel Wizard for 1 mana, and when it enters, each opponent exiles a card from their hand and may play that card as long as it remains exiled, and each spell cast this way costs 1 more to cast. Each land played this way enters tapped. So it's a nice way to kind of get a little bit of tax on our opponents. We can bounce this in and out with the Airbender Ascension once it's powered up and start taxing multiple cards and getting more information about our opponent's hand. We also have 2 copies of Momo Friendly Flier, which is a 1/1 legendary lemur bat ally for 1. And this gives us a discount of 1 mana on the first flying creature, non-lemur flying creature that we play each turn. And then whenever another creature comes into play with flying, Momo gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So this gives us a nice discount on some of the other flyers in our deck. We also have a full playset of Splash Portal. So this is a 1 mana sorcery where you exile target creature you control and then return it to the battlefield. If that creature is a bird, frog, otter, or rat, you draw a card. I don't know that we have, I think, any of those creatures in here, but the main point is just to bounce a creature in and out, get an extra counter on Airbender Ascension, and get some more value. And then we have 3 copies of Spyglass Siren, which is a 1 mana 1/1 flyer Siren Pirate. When it enters, you create a map token. You've got 3 copies of Charming Prince, which is a 2 mana 2/2 human noble. And when it enters, you can choose to either scry 2 and set up your next draw, gain 3 life if you're up against aggro, or exile another target creature that you own and then return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. So this is really nice. We can sort of bounce more creatures in and out with the Charming Prince. And then we have 2 copies of Surris Spidersilk Innovator, which is a 0/1 legendary human scientist hero for 2. And when it enters, you create a 2/1 green spider creature token with reach. And then there's a transform cost. We don't have those types of mana, so we're just going to be using it to create 2/1 green spider creature tokens with reach whenever we bounce it in and out. 4 copies of Floodpits Drowner, a 2 mana 2/1 flash vigilance merfolk, and when it enters, you tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it, and then you can spend 1 blue and 1 other and tap it to shuffle this creature and target creature with a stun counter on it into the opponent's library. So a nice little piece of removal here. We can stun multiple creatures by bouncing it in and out. For 3, we have a full play set of Aang Swift Savior, where we can airbend another target creature or a spell, and it has it's 2/3 for 3 with flash and flying. And then we can also spend 8 mana and or tap permanents by waterbending 8 to transform it into a 5/5 reach trample creature. And when it attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on each tapped creature you control. So a nice little endgame threat. But this is really nice. We can use this to airbend other creatures and then play those creatures if we want to tick up our Airbender Ascension or deal with opposing threats. Also 3 copies of Enduring Curiosity. This is kind of our sort of top end sort of card advantage engine. It's a 4/3 for 4 mana enchantment creature flash. When a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, and then when Enduring Curiosity dies, if it was a creature, you return it to the battlefield under your control as an enchantment. So a little bit harder to deal with, and nice little card advantage engine. And then a full play set of Quantum Riddler, which is a 5 mana 4/6 flying Sphinx, and you can warp it in for just 2 mana. When this creature enters, you draw a card, and as long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, if you would draw 1 or more cards, you draw that many cards +1 instead. So this is a nice card that we can kind of cheat into play by playing it for 2 its warp cost, and then either casting like Splash Portal, which will bounce it in and out, and then it'll stay in play, or we can use Charming Prince to bounce it in and out, or if we have a fully ticked up Airbender Ascension, we can order the triggers so that it bounces in and out before it would warp out and stay in play. So lots of options there, and this is kind of another sort of mini card draw engine. For the land, we've got 23 land, and mostly I'm just kind of focusing on trying to get good mana. So we have 2 copies of Meticulous Archive, which is the only come into play tapped land, and 2 copies of Abandoned Air Temple, which if we don't have a basic will come into play tapped, which can help pump up our team. But other than that, we're just trying to focus on having early access to good mana. And that is the deck. So let's go ahead and jump in. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with kind of various different Airbend ideas, and very excited to try this deck out. Just done a couple games with it just to kind of practice a little bit, but yeah, the idea is really fun. Now, notably, this deck does eschew pretty much any like hard removal spells, just in favor of creatures that sort of have those effects. But between the Airbender Ascension, Aang, and the Floodpits Drowner, we do have 12 pseudo sources of removal. Yeah, happy to keep. We've got a nice opener on the play. And we can lead out here with Starting Town to get Spyglass Siren going. If we want, we can play Temple here, but I think we want to get a creature into play. So let's go for Spyglass. Then hopefully we can find a basic here so that Air Temple isn't a problem. All right, now we'll probably go for Surris. And we want to try to like have like either a Splash Portal effect or Aang or some other way to keep this in play for the Riddler. Okay, there's another Riddler. I guess we could just Riddler also. Could also hold up Aang to counter whatever it is they plan on doing. We could also play the Abandoned Air Temple here. I think we can still draw into basic land, so I think I'm just going to play the Verge. And then we'll get to make use of our map token. So let's just riddle for now. Okay, we did not hit the right kind of land, but that's okay. Oh, you know what? We could have done this before we attacked. That's all right. Let's put it on our Siren. Ooh, there's a Splash Portal. Perfect. So we can use that on the next Riddler. Not sure what our opponent is doing. Mono green Maybe they're stuck on land or of like a different color. Okay, so it is mono green landfall, looks like. Now we can either Riddler and Splash Portal, or we could Aang, bounce this back to their hand and buy us a little bit of time. This is a fairly threatening creature, so we could consider doing that. It's also like Splash Portal could be nice to use possibly like next turn to bounce something else. So maybe we just use Aang and keep the pressure up here. 4/6 Flier is nice though. I will say that'll give us some extra cards. Unfortunately, we don't have the mana to do Splash Portal plus the Sphinx. So let's just play this starting town, and then I guess let's just use Aang to bounce their creature. And just keep setting up. We need to hit either like a basic plains or island or something. Otherwise we can just use these starting towns to make blue mana. Okay, another Splash Portal. I think we just want to like bounce the, just keep bouncing their Chocobo feels pretty good. We could get in first. We could play the Abandoned Air Temple. Actually, never mind, that'll come in tapped. So let's get in first. See if they want to block. And then I think we just want to maybe keep their Chocobo locked down. We can just bounce it out again. And now we can go for a Riddler. Yeah, and that's just going to do it. They must have had like a pretty slow draw or something there. All right, 1-0. Okay, opening hand looks good. Again, we're hoping to hit a basic land, but we're happy to keep. Could start off with Floodfarm Verge. We do have 2 more starting towns, so if we potentially want to make sure we don't get stuck on land that we can't use, we could play these but take some pain, but I think I'll probably start with just Verge here. Just in case we're up against like mono red or something like that. Okay, looks like we are, so good looking out there. Okay, or something else. Now this is kind of fun. We can use Charming Prince to bounce our Inquisitor in and out, and then tax another card, get a little bit more information. So I think let's do that. Could also scry, but I think we want to find out some more information here. See what they want to do. Okay, so it is Izzet Lessons. Don't usually see Temple in that deck, but I suppose maybe some versions run it. And if we want, we can splash portal our Inquisitor again and just kind of keep the keep everything locked down. Oh, well, this is a pretty easy Aang. Here we can just Aang their token and get in, but the token is like not a huge deal either. We could also just like Drowner and then use a Splash Portal and Inquisitor to get another card. Yeah, I don't think it really matters one way or the other here. Let's get another card. Just keep taxing him a little bit. If they had attackers, we could have like done that on Prince and then have Prince target the Inquisitor and have the same effect, but have our creatures untapped. Okay, he does have demonstrations. That is pretty good. Could play Aang this turn to play around Eloquentia. Or we could wait and like see what they try to do. I think since we've got 2 copies, I'm probably going to keep it here and just see if we can potentially counter something. Yeah, we can definitely go ahead and Aang on the monument, keep that off the table. I think if they attack into us, we probably don't block. Okay, Gran, sure. Can splash portal the Aang to bounce the Gran back to hand as well, or get their token out of there. But I think we were happy to, if they want to block, we're okay with it. Yeah, now I think we just splash portal the Aang. We can still recast Aang as well. And actually, I guess we could do it again on the Prince and then exile the Aang, but it's sort of the same thing. They won't have a blocker this way, so, or an attacker, so it doesn't actually matter. But you could do that if they had like other attackers. Combustion technique, we could counter that, but you know, we've just got another Aang, so I think we're okay with that. Would be nice to draw some card draw though. Could definitely use that. See if they go for anything here. I assume they're going to try to go for either Gran or Endurance. We can just make that cost more, or we could just save our prince. Let's just save the prince here. Let's see. Oh, you know what? If we bounce the spell back to hand, let's just save our prince, actually. Prince will be useful. Okay, now we can go for Airbender Ascension. We could bounce the Aang here. Actually, I suppose we could attack. Like, we could have attacked and then bounced it and then, like, had it to, like, counter something. But I think I'm just going to keep it here for the damage. And then we can play Prince and bounce it back anyways. We could scry here. I think we want to just exile and get the extra counter on the Airbender Ascension. This way we can bounce Prince and sort of keep the chain going. Yeah, unfortunately I did get the Accumulate Wisdom, which is really good for them. But yeah, the nice thing with Prince and Aang can just like bounce each other back and forth indefinitely. I assume they just recast the Storm Chaser's talent here. Okay, that is pretty good. I think now we maybe just go for Enduring Curiosity. We might want to do it now, just so we can avoid, potentially running into like Eloquentia. There's a real possibility that they have that. Although we could wait for them to sort of tap out. Yeah, like they can take it out with Iroh's Demonstration. They could take it out with Combustion Technique. Just a matter of what we think they might have. So I think maybe we'll just sit. They know we have the Aang, so they'll maybe try to play around Aang. It's kind of a weird spot where we're like stuck on land and we have really awkward land since we don't have any basics. Ooh, that's an interesting. That is interesting. Okay. Now we've got a good opening for Curiosity. Could also Aang here, but Curiosity is just better. Ooh, and Momo is nice. So Momo will make Aang a little bit cheaper. We could also go for Prince. But either way, we're going to hit 4. So I think let's go Momo plus Aang. Blocker out of the way, draw some extra cards, and now I think we will I think maybe just leave everything as it is. I guess we could have this untapped, but again, they don't have anything that has haste, so I don't think it matters. Combustion technique makes sense for curiosity. Okay. So unfortunately, we don't have enough mana to finish the game. That's okay. We can still can make a bunch of tokens. We can get in for some damage here. Could also bounce Aang back and hold it up as like a counter. There's a lot of different ways we could go with this. I think let's make some tokens. And now we can use the prince. Can use the prince to bounce the Surris in and out. And I guess let's bounce prince and gain some more life. Yeah, let's just, we could scry also. I think let's just gain some life. So now they're going to need like demonstration. They're going to need a lot of things here. And that should do it. Guess they can cast one more spell if they really want to, but all right, let's get in. All right. On to the next. 2-0. All right, let's see if we can run it back. This deck is a lot of fun to play, though. It's I really have enjoyed kind of fine-tuning it, and I like where it's at right now. All right, opening hand looks good. We've got mana, stuff to do. Happy to keep. Lead out here with Meticulous Archive. And got another Drowner. I think we want to try to hit land. So we'll I've already got 2 in hand here. Okay, could be up against like Sultai or 4-color Reanimator, potentially. Okay, I think we just want to get Airbender Ascension going. See what they've got. Yes, it is Reanimator. Okay. This could be a tough match, depending on what they put in the yard. Let's get another blue. Start drawing some extra cards here. But Reanimator, this is going to be potentially tough if they can get like Bringer in there. Hopefully no Bringer in the yard. We'll see, I guess. You could modify this version of the deck to include like Kutzel's Flanker. That'd be a way to deal with Reanimator. All right, now we can go for Curiosity. There's the Aang. The question is, will we have it in time for their reanimation? Guess not. Okay, so they're gonna get probably Arden and then bring in like the Stormbrood, which is really good. Yeah, this is just a deck you gotta be ready for. So I might have to shift the build a little bit. Good news is Aang is pretty good here. Let's go with Plains. Can bounce the token. Lock down the Arden. And draw a card. Now we can bounce the Kavero. Let's take a look and see what they get. They can still get some options, but I think we don't want to leave it in play. So this is potentially worse if they can find better cards, but it potentially buys us a little bit of time. Now Arden's gone, so there's no more Arden, at least for the moment. All right, they can get the Airbender Ascension, which is annoying. We can Aang and bounce the Stormbrood back and then have some good attacks. I think I like that. We could also Aang our Drowner and then lock down the Stormbrood. If we want to do that instead. I think I just like bouncing it though. Not sure if that was right, but at least gives us a decent attack. Got some fun options here. So we could Splash Portal. Maybe we hold the Splash Portal for next turn. We could go like... Actually, I guess we could Inquisitor and Splash Portal that. Lock down or tax 2 extra cards there. But I think having access to this on our next turn is maybe a little bit more important. All right, so let's just... I think we want to go for Archive here, and then we can have like Air Temple next turn. Surris is interesting. That's definitely a good one. It gives us some reach tokens, but I think we might be able to do better. It's not bad, but we want more removal, I think. And depending on what they do, maybe we can just push for enough to just win with Air Temple. This is potentially dangerous if they draw into Bringer. Ah, there's the Bringer. Yeah, that's really bad. Whew. All right, so how do we want to do this? They've got Arden. Let's lock this one down. Aang will bounce the Arden so they can't get more nonsense. Whew. Can Splash Portal the Aang. Could also Waterbend transform Aang. We have 7 mana, so we could tap that. I don't know if we can tap enchantments for that, but that's an option. Oh man, we're just super dead. This is not good. All right, so I think we Splash Portal the Surris for extra. Yeah, for extra creatures. All right, so let's Waterbend. Oh, you know what? I wanted to save a mana. That was a mistake. Because then I could have made more creatures. Oh well. Yeah, that was really unfortunate. Can make these 3/3s. They can block. Oh, this one stays as a 2/1 because it doesn't tap. That's right. Yeah. Okay, so this did not work out. I think the plan was to splash portal the Surris after tapping this in to get extra tokens. Yeah, it's not perfect. I think the real answer is that we just need like graveyard hate for this matchup. We can keep them delayed for a little while, but just not. Yeah, Bringer is just tough to beat. And I don't think we can come back from this. Yeah, especially with all this other nonsense. I think this one is just over. Well, if you spot the play of like how to do that match correct, put it in the comments. And yeah, Reanimator is just so good in Best of One that like you kind of have to be ready for it, unfortunately. Okay, I like this hand. We've got mana. We could use a little bit more mana, but we can use Prince to help scry and fix that. Okay, we drew into mana, which is great. So now we can use Airbender Ascension to bounce their token and kind of get off to the races. Okay, they're just doing more setup. Can hold Aang if we want. Could also go for Prince this turn. I think I like... Actually, we could go for Riddler. Prince and gain some life or do some scry. I think Aang is pretty good, though. I think we just want to... Yeah, I think we just do Aang instead. Hopefully we draw into, like, an untapped land. Like, they're probably going to try to go for, like... Gran. Ooh, Gran is good. That we can counter. And they had a backup Boomerang Basics. Okay. Whew. Alright, so there is another land, which is good news. We can go for Riddler into Charming Prince and then get our Airbender Ascension all the way. We could also just go for Curiosity here while they're tapped out, which is never bad. I think, though, the other play is a little bit better. So let's do the Riddler plus the Prince play. Now we can exile the Riddler, have it come back. And can get in. And now it all comes back. I think we want... yeah, I guess this is... trying to decide which order is better. I guess we'll do it this way. Oh, did I do it in the wrong order? I think I screwed up the order there. We might have been able to get like an extra bounce. Still kind of getting used to it here a little bit. But it is a fun deck. It's pretty fun. Ooh, Splash Portal's nice. All right, so let's... Unfortunately, we don't have mana for that plus Curiosity. I think we just want Curiosity going. So let's play, I guess, the Archive here. I suppose we could technically... Actually, we could have Curiosity, attack, maybe draw land. That might have been better. We do want another Ascension, though, I think. And then I think we get in with everything here. We're happy to trade Prince if they're open to it. Draw some cards. Ooh, double Ascension. That's kind of fun. All right, and now I think we want to bounce their Gran. Make them pay some extra mana. Actually, we could have... that's a mistake. I should have done the Prince, because then we'd get essentially an untapped creature. Guess it doesn't matter too much, but... we just want to tax their mana as much as possible. But like, it's nice because they don't have the Enduring Monument yet, so I guess they could still have it here with Gran. Although they're probably just holding Counterspell, maybe. All right, let's start with... We could get another Curiosity going. Man, there's so much fun stuff I want to do. All right, let's get another Ascension to start. We can start taxing their mana again. All right, and now we could actually probably just do another Ascension. I think we want to be a little careful and still play around the... they could have it'll quench you. Oh, sure, if they want to tap out. That's fine. Let's get a token. Now we can attack and Splash Portal. Actually, let's get Inquisitor going. I think they're forced to block the Curiosity. Oh. Okay, that works too. They've had enough. All right, 3 and 1. So yeah, I think just like the ordering of the triggers, try to get used to that. All right, opening hand looks good. Got mana, got stuff to do. We can use prints to fix our draw a little bit. Okay, and they've got the, hopefully not the turn 2 Badger Mole play, although it certainly could be. All right, so let's go for, since we have mana, actually, I wonder if we're supposed to just go for Surris. I think I still like Prince here, just to fix our draws. It's like we probably want, I'm trying to think what we want to draw. We probably want to get like the Ascension going. So let's use Prince to fix our draws. There's an Ascension, perfect. We also will need 4 mana, so that will work as well. We want to do starting town next turn, and then, yeah, this looks good. Hopefully we can slow them down enough before they can, like, hoof. Ooh, Hydra, okay. It's another good target. Yeah, so we can Ascension. Actually, let's attack first. And then I think we want to Ascension the Hydra and pick up that Plains. Put it on the, probably the Spyglass Siren. Or the, you know, just, yeah, doesn't matter which one I target. Okay, there's Badger Mole. Badger Mole X2, okay. I think the fact that they're playing Hydra makes me less worried of potentially hoof. I mean, they could have hoof. Like, don't get me wrong, they could have hoof. But I think it's more of a landfall deck. And, like, we could pay the ultimate price if we're wrong, but... I don't know. I don't think that they kill us with this next turn. Like, maybe they do. But I think maybe we can, like, take a turn. How do we do this? Just go for, like, Curiosity. I do like bouncing it with Aang, though. I mean, that feels pretty good. Guess we could attack and go for Curiosity, and then, like, next turn have enough to bounce. This is a decent blocker. We could also block with it, too. Right, I think let's do that. Let's draw some cards. I doubt they block. Get a little bit of a refill. Again, we're hoping they don't kill us next turn. Oof. This could hurt a lot. Yeah, I think we just block. Try to save as much health as possible here. Okay, so now we can level up Ascension. This thing won't kill us yet. We will in another turn it'll buff all their creatures, so we have a limited amount of time. Okay, so let's start with Aang. Bounce the Hydra. Then I think we attack with the Siren. We could go for Surris here. I mean, they will both end up flipping it. Guess this, I mean, they're both 2 blockers, so it's kind of the same. This way we get to see their last card. Maybe that matters. Let's put it on probably the Siren. Oh god, that was a mistake. I meant to target Aang. I was thinking of the extra token. Misclick there. So yeah, I mean I would have bounced the Esper. Well, I don't think it's not hopefully gonna matter, but it was definitely a misplay. Bouncing the Esper would really help. Yeah, I think the plan was to bounce the Esper, because now we have like multiple Espers to worry about, and the Mossborn Hydra. We just got problems. Man, they're still not done. Good lord. All right, so we want to kill these Badger Mole Cubs for sure. The Inquisitor can block that one. We have to bounce this and this next turn. I think we do want to kill the Hydra. Or I mean the Badger Mole here. So I think we gotta, let's see, actually let's do it like this. This blocks that. Save the Prince. This blocks that. We'll take 5. Oh, never mind. They can give +1/+1 counters. I forgot because of the Earthbender Ascension. Oh no. Whew, they beat us with on the board tricks. Yeah, just a lot going on here. Well, hopefully you guys can learn from my misplays here. Man, the amount of nonsense that's going on with this Earthbender Ascension is crazy. Yeah, and now it's just, this is too much. Can't come back from this. Like, I'm beginning to think that, like, some of these decks, like, just require us to play Pinnacle Star Cage or something like that just to clean it up. Because it's so fast and so much mana so quickly. It would nab a couple of our creatures, but I think that, like, we have... it's better than just, like, trying to, like, go 1 for 1. Yeah, I think Badger Mole is just, like, a messed up card. It's I can't believe they printed it, but it's making the format interesting, that's for sure. All right, opening hand looks good. We need to draw into stuff here, but at least, let's see, what do we want to start with? Let's get Momo going. Can go for a Riddler plus Inquisitor here. Probably counter the Riddler. Guess we can try this one first to see if they bite. Maybe they try to counter this. Yes. Okay. Now we can go Riddler for 1. Alright, so it looks like Dimir Mill, potentially. Okay, so we want to get more action. We could go for Riddler number 2 to try to fix our draws. We could also just go for Surris. Let's start with Archive. Okay, got enough land. This is kind of not not a ton of pressure, but I'm hoping to draw into like a splash portal or something, and so we can cheat one of these into play. So I think I'm going to go with Surris here. This also gives us 2 bodies for Abandoned Air Temple. Riddler number 2. All right. And I think we just riddle again. Okay, there's an Airbender Ascension. We can also use Curiosity. I think we just want to do Curiosity end of turn. Like, I don't think we want to walk into a counter here. Okay, if they're going to consult, I'm going to endure a Curiosity in response. They could still get us here with, what's the word I'm looking for? The 5 mana board wipe. they could get our Curiosity, which would be annoying. But then we'd be able to, I think, Riddler. Could also go Singularity, which would be bad. Yeah, Deadly Cover-Up. That's the card I was thinking of. So they probably get our Curiosity here. Yeah. So, maybe we're supposed to wait for end of turn. That could have been better. Now we can Lightstall plus Riddler. They might have counters up. Okay, another board wipe. Could Airbender into Riddler. I think we just want 2 creatures in play though. So I think we want the extra creature. They're at 14. It's close. Yeah, Deadly Cover-Up was, it's tough timing on that. I think I should have waited for end of turn for sure. It's probably a play error. Yeah, that's not what they're looking for. There is no Aang Airbending Master. All right. Can start drawing some extra cards here. They might have a board wipe ready for us. I think they probably do, but we can at least refill. Get some extra cards. So now they're probably looking for Singularity, I'm guessing. So they can set up like a 2-turn kill. Right, that works too. How do we want to do this? We can scry with Charming Prince. Aang is nice to have access to. Don't think we need another Airbender Ascension. Spyglass. I don't think we want to use these yet because we don't want them to know to look for Aang. And then I think maybe we'll just buff our team at the end of their turn. Caustic Exhale. Sure, that's fine. See if they guess right. Yep, they got him. Oh well. That's pretty tough. Let's get... I guess Drowner's not amazing because they can just block with Restless Reef. So I think now we go for Drowner. They can bounce it is the problem. But we can, I guess, get through some of these. The problem is they have Meringue. Set up the next Drowner, though. I think we'll hold off on the last one. They're probably considering whether or not to Meringue. Now we can use this to get rid of that. Make this have no targets. And yeah, nothing to bounce there. Fortunately, it still loses to the Restless Reef, so we don't really have good attacks. Whew, this is a pretty brutal match. So now they can activate Reef, they could block. I guess if we trade for Reef, it's not the end of the world, it's not horrible, but like we are running out of cards, so you have to be a little careful. They could also just like block and sack a token, so there's that. Okay, I guess they're going to want to trade. Man, this is like a drag out match. Try to splash portal. If they've got removal, that will just get us. So maybe we hold on to it since they have pretty full hand. I wonder if they have a Spirit Water Revival to try to like extend this game even longer. Now they just block and sack a token. Ooh, they have harnessed. Oh my god. What do they got in their graveyard? Okay, nothing yet. We could bounce the Inquisitor. I think we want to keep it with the +2/+2 counter on it. They can cast everything in their hand, most likely. Okay, now they want to get this into the yards, they can start bouncing. That makes sense. It's pretty backbreaking. I think we do want to double commit here. We got to force the board wipe, because that meringue will kill us rather quickly. And they can make blockers for days. Okay, so they could have used Restless Reef here and just ended the game. But I guess they want to hold back. Charming Prince, we could gain 6 life. 9 life with Splash Portal. Go up to 14. They can still have us covered. But, Suppose we can play out another turn. I can't imagine we can draw on anything that'll matter, but... Okay, and they've got removal for it, so that'll do it. Whew, that was a long one. All right, ended up going 3 and 3. Yeah, I think this deck is fun. So, would you build it? I don't know. It's fun to play. It could probably use some further tweaks. Let's take a look at the stats. All right, so we ended up going 3 and 3, 50% win rate, 60% on the play, 0% on the draw, and it took some losses there to Dimir Mill or / Control, Sultai Reanimator, and 1 to Mono Green Landfall. So what would I change? I think we probably do need some number of like Kutzo's flankers to be able to deal with like the Reanimator or like graveyard matchups. Maybe Rest in Peace. And other than that, it felt pretty good. Mono green is just really hard, and I think maybe Maybe you need to even have like Pinnacle Star Cage, which is kind of a non-bow with the rest of the deck. So I don't know what you do with that. But anyways, thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it. We will see you in the next one.